Hey there, Sart here, and I am very excited to bring this special episode to you because I want to share a personal achievement of mine that I accomplished today. So I've been just sort of throwing myself at Bahamut. We didn't get the Death Machine trial announced this week, so I decided I'd go ahead and do a few more tries on the new trial, the Dragon King, to see if I can improve my turn count. You probably remember the last episode of Murder's Bunny's Revenge, where we did Bahamut in 15 turns. Been trying to do a little bit better. Obviously, you know, if you just want to cheese it, you can have a unit jump on turn 1, Bahamut gives up, you acquire the Esper. But that last mission, defeat Bahamut with a limit burst, that's the point of pride for a lot of players to be able to accomplish that last mission. I did it for the first time with 7-star Esther, took 539 turns, that was rough. This time, we're going to get that all the way down to 9 turns. I was very, very excited to get this one done. I have to thank Cordrin, who built this badass bunny to get this one done. We both buffed our bunnies up to 130 since the last maintenance. Also, we've got the variance patch, which helped improve damage greatly. I also had to change my team around a little bit. You notice the team's a little bit different. We've got Laswell and Reagan and Rivera in there instead of Ling and Riku. But let's go ahead and go through the team real quick. I'll talk you through it. It's pretty gear intensive, especially for this guy. Good boy here. Requires a lot of gear to make this really work. First things first, let's talk about the resistances. You got to have 100% across the board at least on all elements, and then 400% to light and dark. Light is more important to have 400% because that's the first element that comes in the rotation. If you can't quite hit 400 dark, then 320 is good enough because Chow actually has an 80% dark buff in his kit, and he will be able to apply that to himself before the dark turn hits. At least in most cases he will. So here's the gear that I used to get him up to all that. Again, you'll see some STMRs in there, but for veterans, probably nothing that's too hard to acquire. You see we've even got the Clash of Wills materia there, Reclaimed Serenity, very helpful with the light and dark resists. Rookie Sphere Hunter, that's a TMR. And then I've got this generic vision card here, which was very helpful for the light resistance, because this one actually has a total of 30% light resist, as well as 30% wind, which comes in handy once it's fully leveled. So, you know, not too crazy, a few important STMRs in there, but like I said, light resistance more important than dark. Chow's also great because he comes with re-raise, so he can re-raise himself if he needs to, and that's on a triple cast. He also provides a team light amp. That's because we're going to be using light element on turn 6, so having this light amp is really, really helpful. It doesn't imbue though, but that's okay. Rivera can imbue. He also has a single target 45% amp, which is very useful for applying to one of the Esthers, the strongest one on the team, just to increase the damage a little bit more. So Chow's pretty important for this clear. I'm not sure if you could do it with anyone else. Maybe Phasey, since she has a light imbue, but yeah. So here's my EX2 Esther, again upgraded to level 130. Pretty much otherwise the exact same build that you saw from the previous video. She's got to have a form of guts. Everyone needs guts in order to survive on turn 6. But otherwise, exact same build. 300% to Beast and Dragon Killer, and then 275 LB damage. I couldn't quite get the LB cap, but no big deal. We still got it done. Laswell and Reagan are here. I had built them thinking, oh, maybe they'll actually do a little bit of damage, so I built them, you know, with as much killers and everything as I could, and no, I mean, completely useless. Their damage is entirely irrelevant to this fight. But they do have a tag chain on their LB, which is useful. I'll use that on turn 6 to help build up the chain. But their most useful skill is this, the 150% dragon killer for the team. That will greatly increase our damage. We didn't have that in the previous clear, we just had the beast killer, so that'll be useful. Gave him Phoenix Esper, so he has raise, because he'll need that to raise Chow a few times. Now Rivera is the key. She's the keystone to this team. Awesome unit for this trial. The build is irrelevant. I just hit optimize and clicked spirit. Just make sure she has a form of guts. She has it innately actually, but you know, an extra form never hurts. But this is why she is so awesome for this trial. So she has a lot of different killers in her kit, killer buffs, beast killer being one of them. So you use her reverberation skill, and that actually changes a lot of her skills to make them stronger. And in this case, it does a single target 125% beast killer, and it's on a triple cast, so it's very easy to make sure all 3 Esthers have this increased killer. And there's the reverberation skill. The skill itself doesn't actually do much of anything. It just amplifies a lot of her other abilities. Another useful ability that gets amplified is this one, which after using reverberation turns it into an AoE re-raise. Very useful to make sure everyone survives on turn 6. She also has this neat little skill, which does a raise, and then if you use it after using reverberation, of course, it will cast a re-raise on the following turn to the entire team. It's just kind of a neat little thing that could come in handy if you want to use Rivera on this particular fight. She also has the light imbue with the skill in the limelight. She also comes with re-raise. This is also a triple castable ability with all of her other skills, which is very useful. Rivera really is just incredibly useful for this trial. She got a revamp a few months back and no one really talked much about it, but it is incredibly useful now for this trial in particular. And then here's my backup Esther, my EX plus 0. Again, same build from the last episode of Murder Bunny's Revenge. Nothing too special, just tried to give her as much killers and LB damage as possible. She's at 300 and 250, and then 300% LB damage. So that's the best I could do on this one. And you'll see she does about half as much damage as our EX2, so EX2 definitely worth it, just to saying. Here's Cordrin's bunny. Same bunny that you saw from the last video if you watched that one and looked at the team builds. Again, he's just bumped it up to level 130 for me. Very, very nice. Thank you for that, Cordrin. Tifa's card is probably the best in this particular trial because it comes with 50% LB damage, so yeah, that helps you hit the LB cap, and then it also has 100% beast killer on it, so it really just frees up a lot of slots to make sure that you're hitting caps on everything. So he's 300% beast, 300% dragon, 300% LB damage. Very nice build. Alright, so here's our new team. Let me show you how I got this done in 9 turns. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm not going to do any mood music. We're just going to sort of experience this and go for the ride the way I did it. Alright, here we go. Turn 1, let's get it started. So you see he puts up mitigations every turn. They only last for 1 turn. It's either physical or magical. It's a coin flip which one he's going to get. So Chow's going to go ahead and put re-raise on himself to get started. Lasjin can just guard. He's not going to do anything now. Rivera is going to do reverberation, followed by the beast killer on 2 bunnies to get started. Esther's will go ahead and do some attacks. You have to hit him with something non-elemental first to activate the hard mode, but then we want to make sure we imbue the Esthers at the end so that lightning imbue wears off by turn 6, because it's a 5-turn imbue. Here we go. Alright, so we've pissed him off now. So he's going to start by doing a 300% imperil to fire, lightning, and earth, and then he's going to do AoE magic, fire, lightning, and earth. First one's going to kill Chow right away, but then he resists all the others thanks to the 100% elemental resist that he has. Then he does a non-elemental AoE nuke that kills Chow. No problem. We'll just raise him. Thank you, Laswell. Now we'll have Rivera do Overture. That's going to do the AoE re-raise, and then do my third Esther there with the Beast Killer. So they now all have the 125% Beast Killer. We'll do the Dragon Killer next turn. That's to make sure it lasts for both the bursts on turn 3 and 6. Esther's will now use their Calm Before the Storm to get their LVs ready. Alright. Yeah. That first one's always a killer. You're just like, so many times I got physical resistance on the first one. I'm just like, fuck it, give up. So yeah, so now he'll do the 300% imperils again, hit you with three different elements, and the non-elemental nuke. So basically, same thing happens. This time, right, we're just going to have Rivera. We're gonna have Rivera just go ahead and raise him. Yeah, I think that's all we really need to do here. You can do Overture, but it's not really going to matter because he's going to resist all the light anyways. So Lasjin does the Dragon Killer buff here on this turn. That way it lasts for both turn 3 and turn 6 bursts. And bunnies are going to do what they do. It's murder. So you see 450 and 425. Much better than what we had last time. You're going to notice I re-enabled the LB animation. This is to make sure we actually get an 89 hit chain, because it's a moving animation. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, 782. That's actually that's kind of low on the average. I think the lowest I was hitting was like 770. And the highest I ever hit was 870, so it's actually a fairly low roll, but no big deal, does a big chunk. But yeah, so the LB animations, that helps all three Esters sync up because there's a little bit of delay, so they all manage to get to the same position before the LB animation starts. That kind of delays things, and then that makes sure they all fit into the chain. If you saw my last video, you noticed I didn't always get 89 hits in the chain. Sometimes it was 88, sometimes 87. So I finally said, forget it. I re-enabled the CG animations, and that cured that problem. Alright, so, yeah, we've got... So now Reverberation is back up. So we can use Reverberation to buff up all the skills. Rivera is going to put re-raise on Chow, and put a Beast Killer on one of the Esthers for now. We'll get the other two next turn. Alright, Esthers are just going to charge up their LB gauges. They're not going to use the Calm Before the Storm yet, because we're about to take a Mega Flare to the face. So we gotta wait one turn. There we go, good boy. Alright, so now Chow can actually do some actions, and this is where he's going to come in handy with those light amps. So now Rivera is going to put killers, Beast Killers, on the other two bunnies, and Rivera is going to do the AoE re-raise. That's really important because everyone's going to need it the next turn, so you want to make sure everyone's got the AoE re-raise refreshed. And then Chow's going to re-raise on himself, just to use one of the third actions. The other two actions are more important. That's the AoE light amp and the single target 45% amp, which I put on Cordrin's bunny since his is the strongest on the team. Esthers are now going to use their Magnus to charge up their LBs for the following turn. We'll do the light imbue next turn, because that doesn't, there's no extra effects or anything on it for using Reverberation, so we don't have to worry about that. Whew, magic resistance. Love seeing that. Alright. So Chow, he's going to resist all the dark, and then he'll of course take the non-elemental nuke, but he'll re-raise, so again he gets another turn to actually do something. Could be useful. I'll just have him put re-raise on himself though. That just allows Rivera to make sure there's plenty of room for actions in there. But all Rivera is going to do here is Limelight to do the light imbue. Lasgen will start with his LB to build up the chain. It's just to make sure the Esthers are hitting full power. You can see all the Esthers still have the 150% Dragon Killer, and all of them have the 125% Beast Killer. Here we go. Yeah, I really hate moving chain animations where the unit moves to a certain spot. Ugh. Never thought I'd have to worry about that again, but having 3 Esthers makes it really hard. So that's a pretty good roll on the light turns. The light turns are averaging like 630, so that was actually a really nice one. So you see we've got Bahamut down to 31%. Even if I do a low roll at this point on the lightning one, he's dead. He's as good as dead. So all that matters now is that we get magic mitigation on turn 9. And let me tell you, it's like it's a kick in the nuts when you get this far, and on turn 9 he puts up physical mitigation. You just like kills you. But anyways, Esthers are just going to charge up their LBs and do their lightning imbues. Rivera is basically going to do exactly what he did on turn 1, reverberation, and put Beast Killer on a bunny. Also had him do overture for the re-raise to make sure Chow gets re-raised there. Alright. I always felt a little better when I saw the physical mitigation used on the turn, before I was going to do my big burst. Honestly, don't know if it really makes any difference, but it usually made me feel a little better because I was like, oh good, physical mitigation this turn. That means there's a higher chance it'll be magic mitigation next turn. Of course, it doesn't work that way, but you always psych yourself out in some ways when it comes to that. All right, so Laswell's just going to raise Chow. We'll have Rivera use Beast Killer buffs on the last 2 Esthers, and also do Overture for the re-raise. You can also just use the single target re-raise on Chow, but might as well give everyone AoE. Esthers will use their Magnuses again to prepare their LBs for the following turn, and this is the moment of truth. This is like, I'm just like, oh my god, what's it gonna be? Magic, 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 magic. I'm just wishing, fingers crossed, magic. Yes! That's exactly how I felt in this moment. I was like, just like huge relief. Okay, it's over. He is going down. Yeah, I was pumped. I was so psyched when this happened. It took I'll admit it took probably about a dozen tries to actually get the RNG. So, I mean, this isn't something you're just going to walk in and do on the first try. I mean, RNG says technically you could, but it's not likely. So, Lasgen does the Dragon Killer. Everyone's buffed up. Esthers will do their LBs. Yep, there we go. Everyone's got all the killers. I figured, I don't want to leave Chow lying on the ground, so let's go ahead and revive him just so he gets to see how beautiful this is. And I'm going to let Esther's LB animation play out. She deserves it, and it's a fucking badass LB animation, so let's watch.
You can't escape the lightning! You got that?
Whew, 848. It's not my best, but that's one of the highest I've hit. Damn, that felt good. Man, so here's the spread. Cordron's bunny did much better than mine. It's just the way it shakes out sometimes, but yeah. Man, it's a really good feeling. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a lot of fun. I really, it feels good to have that done. I don't know if this is going to be like a record that stands the test of time. Some unit, power creep dictates that some unit's going to come down the line and it's just going to, completely obliterate Bahamut. Even Reberta might come along. She's due this week. She might come out and just totally embarrass Bahamut even worse. But this feels pretty good for now. Esther holds the record at 9 turns on Bahamut. Definitely encourage you guys to go out there and do your own. See if you can beat this. It's part of the fun of the game is, a little friendly competition amongst players. I got to thank Wanderer, who sort of inspired this with his 12 turn clear, and I thought, there's no way I'll ever be able to beat that, but it was because of that inspiration, that sort of competitiveness that I have in me that made me want to get in here and figure out a way to do it. So thank you, Wanderer, for that, and hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was entertaining. If you have the bunnies and the gear and the team to do it, I wish you good luck, and I hope that you can also accomplish this feat and maybe even do even better. If you can do better, show me. I would love to see it. Putting it out there. I want somebody to beat this record, because that's the fun of the game, is to seeing how far we can push things. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the other side.